Hi guys, welcome to another Hadley video. I apologise for having not posted anything recently. My daughters are off school on the Easter holidays, so I haven't had much time to be able to post anything. Luckily I've managed to get a few hours off, so hopefully I might get a couple of videos in if I'm lucky. So we're going to start with the Asari Adept. As you can see, I've had her card 6 times, so she's not fully leveled like, let's say, the human soldier. Funnily enough, even the new character, the Solarian Architect, I've managed to get him to 10, but still waiting for her. It is so random. Right, let's get into it. You already know the first 3 evolutions of throw. It's a detonator. Basically aim at an enemy. It is a little bit forgiving that you don't have to be spot on with your aim, but you have to be close enough, and it will be a little bit forgiving and arc round to them and follow them and stuff. Not like Lance, you have to be dead on. So yeah, force 850, damage on world collision 250, recharge time 10 seconds. This is something that's a little bit confusing to me. I'll come back to that in a second. So rank 2, recharge time 10% reduction. Rank 3, damage and force 20% all damage, 20% all force. The top evolution of rank 4, more damage and force 30% to each. The bottom evolution gives you an extra radius of 2.5 meters. Gives you a radius of 2.5 meters total. I love this because you're running and dodging towards enemies. The radius is nice that if you happen to be inaccurate enough, it's still going to catch whatever is close by. The top evolution of rank 5 duration, you'll note that the icon has been removed now in patch 1.05. It was very confusing. There was no indication on the description of what it actually was there for or what it indicated. Obviously, now it turns out it was a bug. I'd also like to note that there was no mention in the patch notes of them removing the icon. I suppose they're not going to acknowledge that it was there in the first place if it was unintended, but would have been nice. Bottom evolution rank 5, recharge speed, an extra 25% reduction. Top evolution of rank 6, double throw, launches 2 projectiles that seek separate enemies or targets, whichever you want to call it. The bottom evolution, swift detonation, an extra 30% combo detonation damage, and an extra 25% recharge speed. So altogether, if you go the route that I've gone here, you should have 60% reduction. You've got 25% here, 25% there, and an extra 20%, an extra 10% here. So that should give you a reduction of 60%. Now my maths isn't amazing, but 60% off of 10 seconds should be 4 seconds. Now, one of the nice things that they've added in 1.05 is it adds up everything that you've put in, and it gives you a proper idea, rather than listing the whole list of this adds that, this has been added, that has been added. It adds it all up. Now, it's showing a recharge time here of 6 seconds. Yeah, I don't know whether that's my maths or their maths. Very confusing. As you see, the radius of 2.5 meters, 30% extra combo detonation damage. The end force is going to be 10,020 if you go my route, and 300 damage when they hit any object on the map. It's a great ability. The reason I've gone with throw over Lance is nice, especially you're going shield powered. You can just throw them out, not all day long, but as long as you're killing enemies with while they're in your Annihilation Field or with your Lance, then you're getting your 30% of your shields back if you take the route that I've gone in Annihilation here. But yeah, the reason I haven't gone with Lance is I find that she's squishy enough as is to be throwing away my shields every time I use Lance without the guarantee of getting shield power back. Possibly it might change once I decide whether I'm going to go with exposure or combat detonation. But of course that comes once I've gotten all the rest of her cards. And again, I'm in two minds whether to go with either of these, with either Biotic Expert or Biotic Warrior, or to invest the 5 points into Lance just to bring that speed down and give me an extra ability that I can throw out a little bit faster. Anyway, coming back, Annihilation Field. This is her bread and butter. Weaves rapidly shifting mass effect fields to slowly damage nearby enemies. Enemies caught are primed for combo detonations. Other powers activated while Annihilation is in use suffer reduced recharge speed. So while Annihilation Field is activated, all of your other powers suffer reduced recharge speed. They recharge slower. I don't know if that's why this is showing 6 seconds. No idea. So, effect radius starts at 3.5 meters. Damage per second, 55. Power recharge penalty, 60%. And recharge time is 8 seconds. So, if you accidentally turn it off, because you should really have it up all the time, there shouldn't be any instance when you turn it off. Yeah, if you accidentally turn it off, you'll be waiting 8 seconds before you can turn it back on again. Moving on, rank 2, it reduces the recharge penalty of using other abilities by 10%. Rank 3 gives you an extra 15% damage. Top evolution of rank 4 gives you an extra 50% damage radius. Okay, so that increases the 3.5 meters, and as you can see, where's radius? Increases it to 5.3. I would recommend that over the recharge penalty reduction. It comes down to choice, but to be honest, the increase is very big. You're not always going to be, sometimes as you saw there, you're going to be behind cover and the enemy might be just outside the circle. You want that extra radius, in my opinion. Anyway, moving on. Rank 5, top evolution, we've got Damage Attractor. Enemies affected take 20% additional damage from all sources. So, as long as they're inside the field of your Annihilation Field, 20% additional damage from everything. You fart on them, as I saw someone mention in another video, they get hurt 20% more by the smell. Yeah, moving on. The bottom evolution, Biotic Wind, increases movement speed for all allies, including the user, within Annihilation's radius. And the buff is huge, 25% to your running speed. You really do notice it. But one thing I did notice with it, because I have tried it, you're running too fast to be able to aim and hit things, especially with Lance. Throw, you've got a little bit more leeway. I suppose possibly if you took Lance's evolution for radius as well, that might help. But from what I've played so far, yeah, it makes it a little bit too hectic. Moving on, rank 6 top evolution, we've got Draining Field. Partially restores shields for all allies, including the user, within 8 meters. So that's even larger than your Annihilation Field, but at least you can use the marker of your Annihilation Field as a sort of guide. When an enemy affected by Annihilation dies. So as long as you have an enemy in the field that dies, any friends within 8 meters and yourself get 30% of your shields restored automatically. Brilliant. Really brilliant. I have seen some people using the Vortex, which is the bottom evolution here. Unarmoured, unshielded, normal-sized enemies are lifted into the air for 8 seconds. Each enemy can only be affected once every 15 seconds. But the effect does seem to last a fair bit. I have seen people use it to great effect, possibly with a very strong shotgun. That could be really fantastic, but once you start getting to gold, in my opinion, there are too many other enemies that are unaffected to make it overly viable, especially when you consider if you have the Draining Field. Yeah, I'd rather have my shields restored than seeing red enemies, just health bar enemies floating around. Moving on, Lance. So Lance is a detonator, devastates a small area with a swiftly thrown shaft of energy, inflicts bonus damage against enemy weak points such as heads, and detonates combo primers. Damage 320, force 400, impact radius of 1 meter, and recharge time is 10 seconds. Again, that's affected by any sort of... In fact, is that? Yes, there is. Recharge... recharge speed there. So you can lower it a bit extra rather than the reduction here. You can make it shield powered. Anyway, I'll just go through this. So rank 2, 10% recharge speed. Rank 3, 15% damage and 15% force. Top evolution of rank 4, damage and force. You've got an extra 20% damage and an extra 20% force. The bottom evolution radius gives you a 100% boost to damage radius, so that should be 2 meters. Anyway, top evolution of rank 5, focused blast, increases bonus damage against heads and other weak points. If you are extremely accurate, Lance could be the way for you to go. I mean, you could use that against armoured enemies, and that will really help your team out. Shield powered. Yeah, it could be very useful as long as you're accurate. If you're not that accurate, probably the best way to think about it, if you're already good with a sniper rifle, and I mean good, then you'll be awesome using Lance. If not, I would probably go the route that I've gone, go with throw. I consider myself to be fairly alright with a sniper rifle, but I'm not confident enough to go with Lance. Anyway, rank 5, bottom evolution, you've got anti-shield, an extra 25% damage against shields. Top evolution of rank 6, knockdown. Enemies within 1.5 meters of the blast impact are knocked to the ground. Sounds awesome, but wait, only unarmoured, unshielded, normal-sized enemies are affected. On gold, it's not bad, but it's not amazing. Increases damage by 20%, increases force by 20%. The bottom evolution is the one that most people are going with if they're going with Lance. It has Lance has no recharge time but consumes shields when used. Shield cost 45%, so you can get 3 shots off with Lance. If you're combining that with Annihilation Field's Draining Field, which you should be really, you're really hoping that you're not using 3 to kill an enemy. Otherwise, you're going to be running around with no shields and nothing to throw out. You know, even if you consider the throw would be on a 10-second recharge, yeah, to me it's not quite good enough. But I know that there are a lot of people out there that are using Lance and they're using it very effectively. Moving on, we have offensive biotics. So, rank 5, it gives you a 10% increase to your power damage, any biotic powers. Rank 2 gives you an extra 5% weapon damage. Rank 3 gives you 10% power damage and 20% power force. So it makes your throw hit, make the enemy hit walls harder and, things like that. Top evolution of rank 4, we've got power enhancement. 10% power damage, 20% power force. The bottom evolution, power efficiency, gives you an extra 15% reduction to all power recharge speeds. Again, this one comes down to your own preference. I may eventually try going with the damage and force over the efficiency. Well, time will tell. Top evolution of rank 5, exposure. Affecting enemies with biotics now causes them to take increased damage from all sources. Defense debuff from biotic effects 20%. This, to be fair, it is a very hard choice. I'll read off this one as well. Bottom evolution of rank 5, combo detonation, 30% all combo damage and 30% all combo radiuses. So they, when you run close to them, they're affected by the Annihilation Field, and then you throw out your throw or lance, they're going to explode for more damage, and the radius that they cause damage to other enemies that are nearby is a lot larger. 30%, that's fairly huge. But exposure. Now this exposes them, as it says, all sources. So if you're playing with friends, and you're running the Asari Adept, you should hopefully have a Vanguard or a Kineticist or someone that is running with you, with biotics, or even with tech. It doesn't matter nowadays since Mass Effect 3. Biotics can set off tech can set off biotics. But from all sources. So as they're shooting, as they're throwing out their powers or their tech abilities, that's an extra 20% damage being done to them. Especially when you consider that if you've gone my route, you've already added an extra 20% here. So that's 40% of added damage. That's brilliant to me. Which puts into question the combo detonations. Is that worth it? Possibly not, to be honest. Top evolution of rank 6, we've got Biotic Expert. Increases power damage and force for 3 seconds after using a power. Increases are 30% Biotic damage bonus and 30% Biotic force bonus. Very good on the face of it. The bottom evolution increases weapon and melee damage for 3 seconds after using a biotic power. During this time, melee attacks also knock down unarmoured, unshielded, standard-sized enemies, so any red bar enemy. Or, even like an enemy sharpshooter, if you've depleted their shields, if you strip their shields off of them, they will be knocked down if you melee them after that. The percentages: 15% weapon damage bonus, 50% melee damage bonus, and 15% melee force. Again, this one comes down to personal preference. For me, I will probably go with Biotic Expert. As I said a minute ago, I am toying with the idea of putting 5 points into Lance instead, and keeping this just up to rank 5 with the exposure. But yeah, preference. Really is just preference. Moving on, we have Barrier. So, rank 1 Barrier uses biotic abilities to augment standard kinetic barriers. So that gives you an extra 25% shields. Rank 2 gives you regeneration, 25% shield regen, 25% health and shield regen delay reduction. Rank 3, Biotic Melee, 30% melee damage. Top evolution of rank 4, you've got an extra 30% max shields. The lower evolution, 30% health and shield regen delay reduction, and 30% shield regen. So it recharges 30% faster. It takes 30% less time before your shields start to regen after taking damage. It's not bad, but to have that extra 30% of shields, yeah, I'd rather have more shields and maybe spend more time in cover waiting for the shields to come back, or, as the Adept should be used, running into the face of an enemy and putting throw onto them and blasting them with a couple of shots from a shotgun, and they're down and out. Moving on, top evolution of rank 5 increases maximum shields while at least one biotic effect is active on an enemy. So we'll read the description. Max shields with an active biotic effect 40%. So as long as an enemy is in your radiation field, you've got an extra 40% max shields. To me, that's a little bit of a no-brainer over melee. Well, actually, no, it is a little bit of a hard choice. I mean, if you're using Juggernaut Shield with an extra 75%, you're meleeing hard, especially since you've already weakened them with throw or lance, causing an explosion because you've run up to them. Annihilation Field, yeah. Yeah, it's a hard choice. I've gone with Bartic Link. I like having that extra shields, and to be fair, you really do need it with her. Top evolution of rank 6, Active Barrier, partially restores shields after taking down an enemy with a biotic power, affects all allies within 6 meters. That sounds brilliant, but then we read how much. Shields restored on biotic kill 10%. So you have to guarantee that they're killed with biotics. It pretty much sounds like it has to be you that kills them. Yeah, I think BioWare, if they really want to make this a choice, they need to up that by 30% at least. Maybe even more. Yeah, probably a lot more. I'd probably say make it like a Vanguard ability, 100% is recharged. Even if it was 60 or 70%, that would make it a lot more viable to run a Lance build. Yeah. Moving on, the bottom evolution of rank 6 is Saving Barrier. Reacts to low health by automatically restoring shields to full strength once every 10 seconds. So, once your health gets down to 25%, low health threshold, this is enabled and your shields are restored to 100% every 10 seconds. 100%? 10%? Not really a sort of choice. With her, I do like to run with the scatter shot. I love the fact that, you know, you're not stopping to reload. And even when you do go overheated or whatever it is, overcharged, it only takes literally 2 seconds and it's back to 100%. The equalizer is a nice alternative. I just find that the scatter shot is a lot quicker to recharge. You know, a lot less downtime. As you can see here, I've gone with the choke and with the receiver for armor penetration. So this is really, it works really well against any armored enemies. Especially when they're affected by the Annihilation Field and the what's it called? Offensive Biotics. Once I have that exposure, yeah, rip them apart, really rip them apart. And I must say that most of the time, even with my build being incomplete at the moment, I'm at least coming second, at least 19,000 points on gold. That's with no boosters at all. She is amazing. She really is amazing. Especially, I mean, if you throw in a Vanguard or someone who takes note that you're, you know, in the lobby and, okay, there's an adept, I'm going to follow her around because fucking explosions. Anyway, that's it from this video. I hope you have all enjoyed. I hope possibly learned something. As always, good luck. Take care.
We're done here. Get yourself to the LZ.